Hello everyone, my name is Joshua Hill and folks in the solar industry call me Sunshine. I've got this document I've been writing. It's now midnight, Thanksgiving Eve, so technically going into Thanksgiving. Before you start reading it, let me explain what it is. So this is relating to the Idaho Public Utilities Commission docket case IPC-E-18-15. So that's the case relating to, as it says, the on-site generation or study of the net excess energy. So how the power company, Idaho Power, the main one in Idaho, there are a few other small co-ops in Avista and sections of the state, but Idaho covers the vast majority, roughly 560,000 customers in Idaho. This is the talking point, basically first draft master copy. I was going to break up and talk about each one of these in a video series, and I may still do that, but I just want to make one long draft based on what I'm going to testify to. So this is that document. Now, let's start it's late. Going over the points, talking points, my website and business. Please give me a follow, awakensolar.com. Although if you're seeing this video, you're probably already on the channel. Significant value and benefits exist through many ways regarding on-site generation and solar customers. What this means is that people who have solar 100% give benefit to the grid, as well as save money and create an avoided cost or cost shift. That's not an argument either. There are costs, and in the settlement agreement and proposal of the Public Utility Commission in this case, they haven't given any of the benefit to solar. None of the benefit has a value. It's been giving a zero placeholder value currently. So a placeholder value of 0 to be fixed later. So it would be like me saying, hey, you do great work. I'm your, let's say your company says to you, your boss, or if you're self-employed, you have to do all of your work for years. And then later on, we're going to figure out what your work was worth and compensate you for the rest. We're going to give you a, minimum wage. And then later we're going to give you any extra. So if you make, $50,000 a year, we're going to pay you 20 and figure out if you're due 28 more or 30,000 more dollars. That's what's happening in this case. So transmission, without getting too complex, the avoided transmission and distribution, integration cost, and environmental benefits, those are all the benefits that even Idaho Power in the settlement says is being given a 0 value. There are other benefits like distributed generation or microgrids, potential generation of 0 land resource footprint. What that means is instead of putting a huge solar farm and letting the utility put it all out in the desert or on the edge of town and having to pay huge transmission costs to ship that power in, we could just use the roofs that already exist and not have to take up any land. Our land that's already taken up with our homes can have panels on the top of it. Sorry it's so long. I don't want to make a post this long, but I have to cover everything. So the second major point is that distributed energy is greater than or equal to energy efficiency and value. Basically, the long and the short in the example here is that if you have a circuit or a section of the grid with 100 homes and they're all using 1,000 kilowatt hours, you've got 100,000 kilowatt hours on that circuit. If they get more energy efficient and lower their usage by 10% to 90,000 kilowatt hours, that's the exact same benefit or effect that solar has if 10% of those homeowners go solar, or the ultimate solar offset is 10% of that usage. So either they get more efficient or they have solar. It has the same benefit. So it's just like being energy efficient, because the grid the grid's not managed one house at a time. It's managed in huge segments, hundreds if not thousands of homes having a demand load on the hourly basis that the power company has to manage. And that's great. That's a huge service. But it's not the same, or it is the same value as energy efficiency, if not more, because of one simple fact. Energy efficiency isn't predictable. The power company can't really know how many kilowatts you're going to use because of what you set your thermostat on, when it's going to come on, if you're going to be gone for half the day and then turn it on before you get home with a smart thermostat, for instance. They don't know your schedule. Versus solar, that overproduction and the weather can be predicted every day very well. So it has that extra benefit of the power it does pump out to the grid, or the production of solar is pretty well, can be predicted very well. Number 3. We're only on number 3 and I've talked for 5 minutes or more. The Public Utility Commission in Idaho, Commissioners Paul Schellender, that's how you say that one, I had to learn that, Paul Schellender, Christine Raper, and Eric Anderson, in 2018, they ordered that Idaho Power shall initiate a docket to comprehensive study the costs and benefits of on-site generation. So like in point 1, they need to study the benefits and all the proper rate design, etc. The same commission also found that they, quote, "We can assure the company's customers that discriminatory rates will not follow from the outcome of this case, as the prevention of discriminatory rates by the utility is the main purpose of the commission's oversight." It's their job. That's why the commission exists. The utility company is public. The Public Utility Commission has the public's best interest in mind, and this solar on-site generation, net metering, settlement, and policy hasn't given any benefit to so many of the provable facts that solar has of value to the grid, not the least of which is that the customer is 100% paying for the generation, right? You don't have to, the power company doesn't have to invest nearly as many millions over the years to create the new power needed as we have more growth, technology, electronic devices, etc. Point 4, the commission should define the existing customer as a person or entity who has submitted an online generation application by exactly 1 year from the date that both Case IPC-E-18-15 and 1816 are both passed or closed. 1816 is the study, it's only got the costs in it, but it's still open as well, and it directly relates to 1815. That's where the math is that set the rate in 1815 is in 1816. It's a long document and study, but it basically only covers costs of solar to the grid, not benefit. Gives it a zero placeholder value. Who's going to fight and how many years is it going to take for that placeholder value to get realized? Oh my gosh, it's like moving the pendulum all the way to the utility's favor and away from the customer's favor, and giving no value to that. It's not fair, it's not just, it's not reasonable, and I say that in here. So they should define the date as at least 1 year after the cases are closed, because it's consistent with Idaho Power's net meter application. When you decide to go solar, or are going to decide to go solar, you submit a net meter application, and from the date of that submission, you have 1 year to follow through with the project. And solar takes months to get installed due to policy and regulation. So the solar industry currently, it's in limbo in Idaho. It's November in 2019. The hearing will happen in December, and the publication of the settlement agreement was when the lawyer for the Public Utility Commission recommended the date be set, which is crazy to me, because that, in my opinion, you can't have an unknown generation value. You can't have an unknown savings when proposing solar to customers as an industry. It can't be unknown. It needs to be set. It needs to be pretty certain. It's been in effect for over 20 years in Idaho, the current policy, and now it's in limbo. We know it's changing. We don't even know to what. We have a proposal, but we don't know if that's going to be passed, or if it'll stay the same, or if it'll be amended. I mean, we have this huge range of potential savings to show customers, and they have no idea whether they should invest. The solar industry is almost at a standstill right now in Idaho. I've worked in it for 4 years. I'm a NABCEP certified associate and have been doing solar cells a long time. So it's not good out there right now. You've already got companies leaving, and the economy, the revenue, the benefit of solar to the grid is being halted. It's setting Idaho Power back years, and it will set the industry back a lot if this goes through. Sorry, I should have cleared that up. So if you want the first one, check out our Instagram or other social media pages at Awaken Solar, where we'll post just the digital picture and digital copy. This is old school. So, number 5, grandfathering of existing customers considering solar in the near future is the only fair, just, and reasonable outcome and order the PUC should make. Many others will testify to that, and one of the other problems with this I outline here is that a lot of the groups purporting to be solar advocacy groups and informing the public of what they should know about this case are only letting them know they should testify to grandfathering. Grandfathering is being billed as the only thing on the table. Everything else we've decided for you and agreed on what it should be, except grandfathering. Existing customers get grandfathering. And to that, my next point, only existing solar customers and pending net meter application customers have been notified. They're the only ones that Idaho Power sent a letter, and the Commission's order of notification reads so that the average customer has no idea of this case, and they're going to be affected. The existence of this agreement and the settlement agreement hasn't been notified to Schedule 1, and that's really unique. Schedule 1 is the normal. Let's say you own a home, you get a power bill, you have a normal meter, you're on Schedule 1. You can choose to invest in solar and switch into Schedule 6. And so the returns of Schedule 6 are of interest to Schedule 1 customers. All customers, business homeowners, should know about this case and how it will affect the bigger schedule. You have 1 or 2 business entities as interveners in this case, but the average homeowner, no notification, no idea, and there needs to be sufficient time to inform not only the customers, but the industry. Point 7, Idaho Power informed us in the industry that their position as a utility is that this is not a solar issue, it's a rate issue. They have too much fixed cost in their generation cost. And so what that means is, like my previous point, if you lower your usage, your consumption, you turn your AC off, or you have solar powering your AC, the grid can't tell the difference. And both of those examples cost the power company. It shifts cost to other customers, meaning customers that use a lot of power have to pay more for it because you're not using enough power. You're saving your money and not using power, or you're saving your money by investing in solar and using your solar power and not using our power. We're going to attack the solar and leave everybody who's more energy efficient with other means alone. So that's discriminatory. And the Public Utility Commission, as we already know, said that this will not be a discriminatory rate case. No outcome from the previous net metering case would be discriminatory, and it certainly is. It's undeniable with those facts. So in conclusion, the current settlement being proposed, the entirety of that settlement and document in case IPC dash, that should be an E. Yeah, typos. What are you gonna do? Let me see if I can fix that. Right there, we got the old, there we go. That looks like an E. In case IPC-E-18-15 is related and the current 1815 and 1816 should both be closed and both be studied comprehensively as previously ordered before being closed. And so the testimony can be given in person. Any Idaho Power customer can testify, not just Schedule 6 and 8 existing on-site generation customers. All customers, which hasn't happened, the notification, but they can call in on December 2nd and on December 3rd show up in person. I'll be there early. Would love to see as many concerned citizens and customers as there as possible to try to limit Idaho Power placing profits above our freedom, our right to choose, our right to be fairly compensated for excess generation, not being given a huge cut in the compensation with this settlement. The freedom and rights of all customers inside Idaho Power service area will be violated without inclusion of all benefits on-site generation has to our public utility grid, public electricity grid. Thank you, Joshua Hill. I hope you guys got some value out of this and know what to talk about. I hope everyone can sort of better understand what this case means to not only everyone. We don't want Idaho to be one of the worst states for solar, and we want the industry to grow. We don't want the industry to be basically gutted by this settlement. Thank you so much. Give us a follow and a like if you like this video at awakensolar.com on all the major platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram even. Have a great night.